Maran Mohan Ju ki jai. Nitil Pavishtam Vishnupad Rashatarashatashmad Srila Bhaktivedānta Narayan Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitil Pavishtam Vishnupad Rashatarashatashmad Srila Bhaktivedānta Vāmana Gosvāmī Māhārāja ki jai. Nitil Pavishtam Vishnupad Rashatarashatashmad Srila Bhaktivedānta Swami Māhārāja Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pavishtam Vishnupad Rashatarashatashmad Bhaktivedānta Swami Māhārāja Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pavishtam Vishnupad Rashatarashatashmad Srila Bhaktivedānta Swami Māhārāja Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pavishtam Vishnupad Rashatarashatashmad Srila Bhaktivedānta Keshav Gosvāmī Māhārāja ki jai. Nitil Pavishtam Vishnupad Rashatarashatashmad Srila Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pavishtam Bhagavat Srila Goksharas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pavishtam Vishnupad Rashatarashatashmad Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Nitil Pavishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Patita Shragunath Shar Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandal Gaura Mandal Vraja Mandal Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Bharata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund ki jai. Shri Muna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Alright, Dandavat Pranams everybody. Sorry, today I think this is the latest I've been yet. I was having difficulty with my internet. It wasn't working, and then I tried restarting my computer and etc. And it was already late in the first place before that. So alright, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. Let's see who's there. Dandavat Pranams Gargaraji and Ganga Didi. Haribol. So letter 74. The meaning of the word Ma. Guru Tattva. Shri Bhagavan offers Guru Shakti to his dear devotees. One whose heart is exclusively established in Shuddha Sattva, pure existence, is worthy of being Diksha Guru. As long as the hankering for enjoyment remains prominent, it is impossible for bhakti to bloom. The nature of great personalities. This is written in 1984. Kalyani. Ma, I hope that by the causeless compassion of Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giri Dhariju, you are all well physically and also well in terms of your bhajan. I received a letter dated 19/7/84 from your sister. Because I wrote her a letter calling her Ma, she wanted an explanation of Ma. Let her know that Ma means Mata, mother. Rama, Lakshmi, and others are referred to by the word Ma. The word Ma or Mata is also used to refer to Kumari, lifelong celibate Vaishnavis. The word Ma is also used in the sense of Dhatri, nurse, Prithvi, earth, and Janani, mother. Ma or Mata is also used for one who gives birth or who carries a pregnancy. The word Ma is also seen to be used in reference to Shakti, energy, Prakriti, nature, and things related to that which is feminine. Ma is also used in relation to those deserving honor, like Jetima, the senior paternal aunt by marriage, Kakima, The junior paternal aunt by marriage, Mashima. Maternal aunt by marriage in Mamima, one's aunt. Shouldn't this have something also? I remember Rup Manjari made this change, but maybe this was missed out. What is Mamima? Rup Manjari, let me know what Mamima is, and then maybe we could add. Okay. One's object of affection is also addressed as Ma. Fathers and mothers also often express deep affection to their daughters by calling them Ma. Gurus and people who are like gurus also express unearthly affection by addressing their daughters or disciples as Ma. In the connection between guru and disciple, moods of dasya, sakya, and vatsalya exist. These three moods are applied to Sri Guru Padma in particular situations. Although according to the highest conception, Guru is Saki under the guidance of the Sakis, a Manjari, etc. Generally, disciples address Sadguru as father. If necessary, an extensive explanation of this will be conveyed later. Shastra delineates many principles and philosophic conclusions in relation to Guru Tattva. Gurus are of two types, Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru. He from whom one receives the Mool Mantra and Gayatri of one's worshipful deity is Diksha Guru. He from whom one receives instructions on the matter of bhajan is Shiksha Guru. Yadyapi Amar Guru Chaitanya Das Tatapyaniye Ami Māhārāja Prakash. Although my Guru is a servant of Chaitanya, I know that he is his manifestation. Sri Gurudev is, by identity, the devotee Krishna and Sri Chaitanya. He is, by identity, Sri Krishna's most beloved devotee. There is a decree to remember Sri Gurudev as Sri Krishna's most beloved devotee, or Mukunda Preshta, the dearmost of Mukunda. Though he is said to be Hari himself, he is Krishna's dear devotee. Gurudev is said to be equal to Krishna in terms of how dear he is to the disciple and how worshipable. Sometimes we write worship, well, mostly we write worshipful, but sometimes worshipable. I wonder if there's any difference at all. Pure devotees see Sri Shiva and Sri Gurudev as non-different from Sri Bhagavan because of how dear they are to him. There is a chance that even considering Sri Gurudev to be Krishna's beloved devotee can be dangerous for the disciple, because there is the risk of thinking Guru to be an ordinary human being, and that is particularly likely to generate offenses. For the disciple, Sri Gurudev is a special manifestation of Sri Krishna. He is Sri Bhagavan's Anugraha Shakti, potency of mercy. Bhagavan's Guru Shakti appears through the medium of Gurudev and blesses the disciple. Sri Bhagavan is the main refuge of Guru Shakti. That is why he is referred to as the Samashti Guru, the aggregate Guru. Sri Bhagavan offers this Guru Shakti to his dear pure devotees and shows mercy to individuals who are thirsting for bhajan by granting them diksha and so forth. Sri Krishna does not directly grant anyone diksha. For the jiva who is bound by Maya, there is no possibility of attaining spiritual well-being except by the grace of Guru Shakti. For the disciple, Sri Gurudev is a personification of Bhagavan's formless Shakti. Sri Bhagavan is subservient to the devotees, and the attainment of his mercy is also possible by the mercy of the devotees. And so it is that he grants the jiva's knowledge of the truth through the medium of his dear devotees. One whose heart is exclusively established in Shuddha Sattva, pure existence, is worthy of being Diksha Guru. Bhagavan's appearance is possible only in a heart that is radiant with Shuddha Sattva, and by that, real experience and realization are gained. Sadguru is acquainted with Shastra, and thus can alleviate the doubts of his disciples, and he is equipped with realization of Bhagavan. Krishna Tattvaveta Shei Guru Hoy. One who knows the truth of Krishna is Guru. It is imperative to take a guru in order to invoke the mercy of Bhagavad Anugraha Shakti, the Lord's potency of grace. And therein lies the sadhak and sadhika's unique spiritual welfare. In regard to sadhan bhakti, it is certainly crucial to observe sadachar, proper conduct, which consists of various injunctions and prohibitions. Giving up misconduct and adopting proper conduct is the same as adopting the policy of shunning bad association and accepting good association. This is I like this one. I'm going to save this one. Oh, 1 second. I have to open this up. This is letter 74. Okay. Giving up misconduct and adopting proper conduct is the same as adopting the policy of shunning bad association and accepting good association. The Vaishnavas will observe specific conduct that is favorable to sadhan bhajan, will certainly reject sense objects and an association that are opposed to bhajan. Prohibitions have been instructed for the sake of gaining bhakti. Performing the limbs of bhakti like Shravan, Kirtan, etc., which have been prescribed by Shastra, constitutes Vaishnav Sadachar. Remembering Sri Krishna is the root of all injunctions, and forgetting Bhagavan is the main prohibition. Hence, remembering Sri Krishna is the chief Sadachar. Yena kenapipayena mana Krishne niveshayat. By whatever means, one must turn the heart towards Bhagavan. Giving up bad association is Vaishnav Achar, conduct. As long as the hankering for rooted in the gratification of one's own senses remains prominent, it is impossible for bhakti to bloom. That is why, for a person who is desirous of bhakti, there is the instruction to abandon even varnashram dharma. As long as faith in the hearing, chanting, etc. of descriptions of Bhagavan and his devotees has not manifested, man remains attached to worldly behavioral dharma. I don't think the word's behavioral here. I'm sure it's saying vyavaharik dharma. Behavioral doesn't make any sense to me. What does behavioral mean? I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but no. I'll change this later. Oh, but I was thinking the word should be worldly, but I see the word worldly is before it. Anyways, I'll figure it out. I think it's saying lokik vyavaharik. So, any lust or desire for anything other than the desire for Krishna bhakti is part of bad association and therefore discardable. It is by good association and the mercy of great personalities that all these things, sadachar, gains robustness. Great personalities have I have a hard time saying this word. I don't think I'm saying it right, but equanimous, I think so. Great personalities have equanimous vision and are endowed with an intelligence that is fixed on Bhagavan. Those who are virtuous never acknowledge the flaws of others. They know that the supreme objective of mankind is only to love God. The company of living entities who are attached to eating, drinking, etc., and wife, son, daughter, wealth, home, etc., brings them no pleasure. Krishna Bhakti Janmamul Hoy Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha is the root of the birth of devotion for Krishna. Without the mercy of great personalities, one cannot obtain devotion to Krishna. Devotees are of two types, sadhaks, practitioners, and siddhas, perfected. this one's a noun and this one's an adjective, right? The perfected. Practitioner. No, actually that could be a noun. Anyways, Bhagavan is controlled by the devotees, and Bhagavan's mercy is dependent on the mercy of the devotees. Take my affectionate blessings. Iti, your eternal well-wisher, Shri Bhaktivedānta Vāmana. And 1 second, I think Rup Manjari sent me a message. Let me just, I think this is probably regarding the Mamima thing. Okay. So Mamima sees after, just so I don't waste everybody's time. But Mamima is maternal aunt by marriage. So that's like aunt-in-law? Okay. Maternal aunt-in-law, which isn't a term, I guess. But anyways, I'll fix that later on. Letter 75. Encouraging people to preach on the Indian mainland. The supremacy of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. The difference between Sri Buddhadev and Siddhartha Buddha. Transgression of etiquette is contrary to Turnadapi Sunichena. Transgression of etiquette is contrary to Turnadapi Sunichena and creates obstacles in chanting. The influence of Prakrit Sahajiavad on the Gaudiya mission. On the Gaudiya mission? Or in the Gaudiya mission? I don't know. On. Okay. 1 second, let me just... Hey, same thing, it says Snehaspadasu, it should be Snehaspadeshu. And let me see who's all here now. Dandavat pranams Gangadidi, Dandavat pranams Nri Hari Prabhu, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantaramati Mataji, Rup Manjari, Rukmini Didi, Raseshwari Mataji. Hi. Okay. Rup Manjari, I'll definitely fix that right after. Oops. Hide. Dandavat pranams. Oh my god, I'm having internet issues today. Frustrating. Hopefully the connection's not way too bad. Okay. Snehaspadasu. Baba. The letter you wrote to the Kolkata address dated 15/9/84 arrived on the date of 24/9/84. After a long delay, I received it while staying in Deoghar. I understand that you are worried because you have not received any letters from me for so long. There has hardly been any preaching on the Indian mainland. First, preach on the mainland and glorify the contribution of the Indian artist stages and the speciality of their beautifully subtle philosophical tenets and conclusions. Then, later, cross the waters and endeavor to spread the light of those philosophical conclusions across the continents. Charity begins at home. The auspicious commencement of the Dharma of charity from your own. Later, strive to spread its glory in foreign lands. First, make your body healthy. Later, all this preaching will be able to happen properly. With a healthy body, a healthy mind, and well-being of the soul, all is possible. So do not be negligent in this regard. I am responding to your 4 questions as follows. 1. The 17 Puranas are part of the Garuda Purana. Where did you get this from? Śrīmad Bhagavat Mahapuran is unbiased and independent and beautifully established in its own glory. It is wrong to compare it with the other various Puranas. Sri Narayan first taught the Chatushloki of Śrīmad Bhagavatam to the 4-headed Brahmaji, and it is that which, in later times, Sri Narad Rishi taught to Krishna Dvaipayan Veda Vyas. The expansion of that is Śrīmad Bhagavatam. It is not surprising that Garuda Puran mentions the verse Arthayam Brahmasutra Nam, which proclaims the glories of Bhagavatam. Shri Vedavyas, who is cognizant of past, present, and future, can make a reference of any scripture in any Puran in the forenoon. Shri Vedanta Darshan, Brahmasutra, contains the opposition and refutation of Buddhism, Jainism, the Arhat doctrine, and other such apadharmas. By this, is it to be assumed that the aforementioned doctrines are as ancient as Vedanta Darshan? This is the foregone conclusion of Shri Vyasadeva, the seer of past and present. 2. That Shri Buddhadev, who is an incarnation of Bhagavan, did not preach Mayavad. He appeared in the region of Gaya, and Śrīmad Bhagavatam 1.3.24 refers to Anjana Sutta, the son of Anjana. Buddho nam nanjana sutta ki kateshu Gaya bhavishyati. Buddha, known as the son of Anjana, will appear in Gaya. He blasphemed the practices of yajna and forbade the sacrifice of animals, preaching the policy of ahimsa paramo dharmaha. Non-violence is the supreme religion. And it was Siddhartha, or Gautam Buddha, who appeared in the town of Kapilavastu, in the foothills of the Himalayas, and preached Shunyavad, nihilism. Acharya Sri Shankar refuted his Shunyavad and established Mayavad, even though Mayavad and Shunyavad are propagated for the same purpose. I'm pretty sure Shunyavad has a long U. If you study the book Mayavadir Jivani, you will know the particulars of Shunyavad and Mayavad. 3. No sadhak can advance in Hari Bhajan by transgressing Maryada, etiquette. Sriman Mahaprabhu himself conveyed the following: Maryada Langhana Mui Sahite Naparo. I cannot tolerate the transgression of etiquette. Transgression of etiquette is also contrary to the Trinadapi Sunichina verse taught by Sriman Mahaprabhu. Doing so destroys Amani Manada Dharma, the religion of giving respect to all without the expectation of any in return, and creates obstacles in the performance of Shri Harinam Sankirtan. If one cannot become initiated in Mani Manada Dharma, qualification to perform Shri Nam Sankirtan will not manifest. Hence, transgression of etiquette cheats one of the greatest limbs of sadhan, Nam Sankirtan. 4. If you search the Patra Sutti, list of characters in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, you will find out whether or not Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's brother was Shamadas. You can also consult the book Sri Bhakti Ratnakar. Shamdas's name may also be in there. Srila Saraswati Prabhupada explains that the histories contained in Bhakti Ratnakar are not verified. It is not implausible that the invocation in Gaur Parashad Charitavali, published by Gaudiya Mission, contains Prakrit Sahajya conceptions. Okay, not to be confused with the Gaur Parashad Charitavali Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj. This is the Gaudiya Mission one. Okay. They have ended up following in the footsteps of the Prakrit Sahajyas, rejecting the ideology and conclusions of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Srila Prabhupada. They ramble on as if they have 5 heads when glorifying the Jati Goswamis in various Apasampradayas. They are reluctant to accept the pure Gaudiya Bhagavat Guru Parampara and regard Śrīmadvacharya as a bona fide, and they are reluctant to accept Śrīmadvacharya as the bona fide Sampradaya Acharya. I have conveyed an in-depth refutation in this regard of Gaudiya Mission in the introduction to the book Shri Harinam Chintamani, published by Shri Vedanta Samiti, which will be perfectly evident from a study of that book's Nivedan. Also get Bhakti Ratnakar from the Mat Library and look at its Nivedan, Srila Prabhupada's, for more about its questionable histories. I have answered your letter swiftly so as to enthuse you in your service. Surely, once you receive this letter, there will remain no possibility of that enthusiasm subsiding. With great enthusiasm and patience, perform your services and engage others in service. Is it a problem that we have enthusiasm 3 times? Probably it's okay. Anyways. Let the program to preach in the Andamans be postponed for the time being. Where is Andamans? I guess it's somewhere in the west. Make arrangements later when it is the right time and the right opportunity. Do not make a patchwork attempt to keep your body going. It is wanted that you get proper treatment and perform Hari Bhajan with a healthy body. Try to grasp what I want to express in this letter. All of you, please accept my affectionate blessings. Iti. Sorry. The Andamans. Indian Union Territory. Huh. Interesting. Anyways. Okay. I've heard the word Nicobar before, I think. Whatever. Hey. Anyways, I'm wasting people's time. Oh, zoom out there. It's next to Thailand. Okay, there's Andamans. Neat. Okay. Letter 76. Okay. To be enthused is to be filled with God. One second. Let me just... Okay. Letter 76. In the perfected stage, one chooses when to die. 2 Kapilas. Pancharog, 5 illnesses. Kerning. Attaining transcendence of the senses. Sriman Mahaprabhu's mind is not different from Vrindavan, following in the footsteps of Sri Gaurasundar. Again, Snehaspadassu, Snehaspadeshu. Do you notice a difference in Srila Vāmana Gosvāmī Maharaj's letters to men and women? Like, these are just a lot more matter of fact. Like, I don't know. I think I see. Baba, I received your loving letter dated 1/12/84 on time. You wrote that your body is unwell. If you think you really need to, finish up your work as best you can and come to Kolkata for some days. You can return after proper treatment and regaining your health. The planetary influence of the planet Rahu on you will subside if you come to Kolkata. All illnesses can be alleviated with proper treatment. Do not worry. The illness will subside before you become gripped by old age. You need to maintain some composure. Why are you stoking the desire to only survive 8 or 10 years? It is proper for the sadhak to feel, I have not done Hari Bhajan. In the perfected stage, Siddhavasta, it is fine to say that one chooses when to die. Bhajite shamaya ashile deha chariya divo. In the course of performing bhajan, when the time comes, I will discard this body. Why are you becoming a ghost without even dying? I am giving brief responses to your questions. 1. Kapila, who won in the dynasty of Agni, annihilated the 60,000 sons of King Sagar. Is it Sagar? I mean, I know Sagar is usually ocean. I'll look that up. Anyways. It is correct to accept this as conclusive information. However, the theistic Kapila, son of Devahuti, appeared in this world as an avatar of Bhagavan. The very first place he set foot was at the confluence of the Ganga and the ocean. This is described in Bhagavatam, and he did not burn the Sagar to ashes. It was at the site of his footprints, however, that the other Kapila, the son of Agni, made his seat. I've been there, to Ganga Sagar. Pancharog, 5 illnesses, are avidya, ignorance, asmita, vanity, rag, anger, dvesh, hatred, and abhinivesh, obsession. Oh, like in that song. How does the song go? Vakati vinod. No. Vardake kon. Pancharoge hata ke mone jivo bolo. Maybe I should give a footnote there. 3. The jivas bounded by Maya do not, they cannot serve Adhoksaj Bhagavan by means of their gross senses. Sevmuke hi jivadho swayam eva spuratyadha. As per this statement, the transcendent Shri Nam Brahma appears via the senses that are inclined towards service. Shri Krishna's name, which is beyond sensory faculty, cannot be grasped by material senses. And I think it should be transcendental. I don't know. I'm confused about transcendent and transcendental. Transcendental, I remember looking up, it means like spiritual, and transcendent means beyond the material plane. It's like one's positive and the other's like negative, kind of. Like it's not this and the other's, it's this. Okay. This is the principle in conclusion. That which is material can never become spiritual, and the spiritual never becomes material. The presiding lord of the transcendental senses, Hrishikesh, it's a long I in Hrishikesh, Shri Bhagavan, can be served only by transcendental senses, a process referred to as bhakti. Hrishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam Bhaktiruchyate. Attaining transcendence of the senses is a special experience, not some gross affair of the inert. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu discussed the difference between the inert and conscious mind. Aner or Anyer? I think Anyer, I'll look that up. Aner Hriday Man, Mor Man Vrindavan, Mane Vane Ekakori Jani. Others' hearts and minds are one. My mind is Vrindavan. I know my mind and the forest to be one. The conditioned soul's mind is controlled by the material senses, whereas Śrīmad Mahaprabhu's mind, which is overwhelmed with transcendental sentiment, is non-different from Vrindavan. It is only possible for Sri Krishna Chandra, who is beyond all that is material, to appear in that transcendental Vrindavan. Another transcendental perspective of him is as follows. Vana deki Brahm hoy e Vrindavan, Shaila deki mane hoy e Govardhan. Jahan nadi deke taha manaye kalindi. Mahaprema vesh nache, Mahaprabhu pore kandi. Seeing any forest, he becomes bewildered and thinks, this is Vrindavan. Seeing any mountain, he thinks, this is Govardhan. Wherever he sees a river, he sees it to be the Kalindi. In the grand rapture of divine love, Mahaprabhu falls and weeps. Mahabhagavata deke stavara jangam, taha hoy tar Shri Krishnera spuran. Shri Krishna spuran. Stavara jangama deke na deke tar murti, sarvatra hoy nija ishta deva spurti. When a Mahabhagavat looks at a moving or non-moving being, all he perceives are manifestation. Although seeing entities, both moving and inert, he does not see their form. Everywhere are only visions of his own worshipful Lord. Due to the nature of the Mahabhagavat Paramahansa's prem, their vision of everything, all moving and non-moving creatures, their vision, let me reread that. Due to the nature of the Mahabhagavat Paramahansa's prem, their vision of everything, all moving and non-moving creatures, is utterly devoid of mundane awareness, thus giving them glimpses of their worshipful deity's Srimurti. Should this be with have end dashes? Maybe it shouldn't. But I don't know. Just because there's like so many commas, does it get confusing? In other words, they have Shri Krishna Bhav Darshan. They see Shri Krishna everywhere. The Uttam Bhagavat sees the soul of all souls, Shri Krishna Chandra, in all living entities. And he sees all souls and Shri Krishna. That they are Samadarshi, possessed of equal vision. I hope you are all cooperating to manage the service tasks in the Mat. If the unfavorable environment is utterly harmful for the Mat and mission, then you will have to arrange to remedy it. But that must happen with intelligence and tact, so that the social dignity of the Mat and certain individuals are not injured. The teacher of all worlds, the guru of all realms, Shri Gaurasundar, who is himself initiated into Amani Manada Dharma, would defeat the opposing party, but always safeguard their dignity. As we introduce ourselves as the servants of his servants, we will follow in his footsteps. What miserliness is there in this? In the Sri Saraswat Gaudiya Vaishnav Society, the Vaishnavas use the term Gaura Jan Kinkar, the servant of Gaura's associates, to introduce themselves to the outside world. As the Vigashasi servants of Vaishnavas, they are accustomed in their inner circle to introducing themselves as the servants of Sri Guru and Vaishnavas. This has been a custom in practice since ancient times. Accept my affectionate blessings, Iti, your eternal well-wisher, Shri Bhaktivedānta Vāmana. This is a really cool term. Vigashasi. Let's see how it translated here. What is left over after the servants of a household eat is called vigasa. One who eats the leftovers of the servants is called vigashasi. Vigashasi. We are the Vigashasi servants. So after all the servants have eaten, and there's the remnants left over, and one who only subsists on that, that's a Vigashasi. Alright, so let me look at the comments. Okay. As the Andamans. The women are more like... Yes. Okay, cool, Rukmini. I will do that then. Great. Yes, that's true, Manjari. I agree. That's probably the reason. Okay. Letter 77. Singing the glories of Shri Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas is the root fiber of sadhan bhajan. There is real happiness and peace in renunciation. That's for sure. We need the blessings of Guru and Vaishnavas at every moment in life. Shishi Guru Gorango Jayataha. 4/1/1985. Kalyani Yasu. Dear blank, you worry way too much for me. This is why you keep having dreams about me. If you are going to have dreams, try to have good dreams. If you have bad dreams, you give yourself trouble and cast me into bouts of worry. I am healthy, so you have no cause for concern. Surely you'll be relieved to receive my letter. You have strung a garland from flowers of devotion. Surely it was put to use. Yak chire yak, mor pul mala, tak pare tak bhara ful dala. Habe na vifal mor phula tola, tumi to charane loibe. Let it break. Let my flower garland break and stray strewn. Let the flowering boughs stay full. My picking of flowers will not be fruitless. You will take it at your feet. Utter this portion of poetry to pacify your mind. Oh God. Anyways, this is from a song called Sankare Jadi Nahi Pai Sara, a Bengali folk song. I never understand poetry. It's so beyond me. Okay, let it break, let my flower garland break and stray strewn. Let the flowering boughs stay full. My picking of flowers will not be fruitless. You will take it at your feet. Oh God. Okay. If anybody understands that, you can let me know. Utter this portion of poetry and pacify your mind. You should not become attached to the material objects you receive in this world. Do not forget the Lord of the world, the Lord of the universe, Sri Bhagavan. This is my greatest blessing to you. Without worship of Sri Jagannath, man's life is in vain. This is an exclusive purport of all scriptures. Keep this in mind. Man-filled life is for the sake of remembering Sri Guru and Bhagavan. As you remain constantly absorbed in the various services of family life, you will find the opportunity and good fortune of keeping him in your memory. Singing the glories of Sri Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas is the root fiber of sadhan bhajan. Aside from this, there is no other easily accessible path for the deliverance of conditioned souls. Human beings practice garhastya dharma to conquer mundane lust and desires. Sangsara is another name for praying for material subjects, but devotion to Krishna is the only thing we pray for. There is real happiness and peace in renunciation. Man can never have well-being by leading a life prone to sense enjoyment. If one can engage all the impulses of one's senses in the service of Bhagavan, one can obtain devotion for Bhagavan. The affection of Guru and Vaishnavas is transcendental. We need their good wishes and auspicious blessings at every moment in life. If we are deprived of their love, we will never be able to progress on the path of bhajan. You should proceed having intelligently considered all of these matters. There are none so foolish in this world as those who are inconsiderate in society. Go forth with love and affection, faith and belief. This is my special wish. The responsibility for you is upon me and will remain as such. You have no reason to doubt this. I say I have accepted full responsibility for you. Hence, you have no worries. Who am I to you? I am rather angry and indignant that you still cannot recognize this. My words of fearlessness and reassurance will surely make you all free from worries. What more? Iti, your eternal well-wisher, Shri Bhaktivedānta Vāmana. Okay, 78. Gratitude for the sacrifice that is preaching. The devotees are patient, for all their joys and sorrows are related to service. Counseling a senior devotee, encouraging cooperation and conflict resolution, leaving the mott and rejecting Guru's service is akin to suicide. Studying the qualities of a saint described in Bhagavatam subdues hatred, violence, and envy. Magnanimity means to cultivate the good qualities of others within oneself. Okay. This is written in 1985. Shri Vaishnava Charane Dandavannati Purvikayam, offering prostrated obeisance at the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas. I guess we can leave that in. Dear blank, I hope God's grace you are well. In the preaching party, you are senior in age, and the uncle, the Kaka Guru. I hope that the other sevaks act according to your instructions and advice. If you enthuse the sevaks and inspire them in their service, they will find strength in their hearts. For most of the year, you have been out preaching, and naturally you endure the profuse and strenuous exertion you put into this, as well as physical and mental suffering. But you are all accepting the suffering for the sake of service to Sri Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas. It will not do to forget this. This is, without a doubt, the ideal of renunciation, or giving up for the sake of Krishna's pleasure. For this sort of sacrifice and Vaishnavas, the Sevaks of Sri Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, and I especially, feel particularly indebted to you all. See in service, the Guru Varga will surely pour profuse blessings upon you from beyond the veil. By worldly, temporal standards, everything has a limit. When the limits of patience are left behind, many declare rebellion, and then they do not receive assistance in the most ordinary matters from the governments that they have rebelled against. The view of Niti Shastra, political science, is all are to be condemned to the extreme. Sarvam atyantam garhitam. This notion cannot be applied in the case of spirituality. The conception of the Lord's devotees is Tomara sevai dukh hoye jata, sheyo to parama sukha, seva sukha dukkha, parama sampada, na shaye avidya dukh. Whatever suffering one undergoes in the course of serving you is a matter of supreme joy. The joys and sorrows of service are the greatest wealth, for they abolish the misery of ignorance. You should explain all these matters to the Sevaks of the preaching party and tell them to comprehend the purport of such statements of the Mahājans. I am delighted to know that all are giving their attention to the service of collecting donations. I have understood that while we are still alive, the Sevaks will be able to keep the daily seva going. If they can always reap the delight of service, they will meet with extensive auspiciousness. You should pay particular attention to getting the brahmacharis in the preaching party to work together in a mood of friendship. We will all cooperate under the guidance of the Ashraya Vigraha. Tell them to take this notion to heart. When living together, at times some differences of opinion or mind can occur, but it is not good to keep that going for too long. If it is not mutually forgotten, these individual differences of opinion can cause fearsome damage to the Mat and mission overall. My special request is that in such cases, you, as a supervisor, make a wholehearted effort to keep the harmony between the two intact and make arrangements accordingly. The Sevaks have come to the Mat Mandir for the express purpose of serving Sri Guru and Vaishnavas. If they disturb their minds over ordinary matters, they will lose an eagerness to perform sadhan bhajan and end up forever cheated of service to Hari. A human being can never survive in a condition that is service. Charya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Payache Keva. Who has gained deliverance by leaving the service of the Vaishnavas? You have to consider this. We have no use for worldly glamour and must be particularly careful that we do not end up as the Deharami Geharamis, persons content with the pleasures of the body and home. It is very difficult for those who are trying to get a final settlement, a severance package, to perform Hari. The endeavor to create a bank balance for one's future food and shows a lack of faith in Shem. I have 2 bank balances. One does not receive the causeless mercy of Sri Guru and Bhagavan if one cannot be reliant on them. Sadhaks that we are, we will always be ready for them to test our heart. Gaining well-being for the soul is only possible through patience, enthusiasm, firm conviction, keenness to perform one's duties, observance of the rules, and, above all, through faithful devotion. Explain all these matters in depth to the Sevaks and encourage them. Durdaive Sevaka Jadi Jai Anyastane, She Prabhu Dhanyatare Keshe Dhori Ane. If, due to unfortunate circumstances, the servant goes elsewhere, that master who grabs him by the hair and brings him back is blessed. Where is that from? I'm just curious. It's from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay. This is indicative of the causeless compassion and parental affection of the Vaishnavas, who are merciful, free from enmity, who see all as equals, who are magnanimous, who work for the benefit of all and who are empathetic to all. Those persons are fortunate who have come to perform Hari Bhajan and have taken shelter at the feet of a bona fide Guru. Should they leave the mat and reject Guru's service to roam the universe of the illusory energy, should they leave the mat and reject Guru's, it is akin to suicide. It is a result of many, many births worth of to obtain all this good fortune. Sadhan bhajan cannot be perfected by living in the house of indulgence. Sadhan bhajan cannot be perfected by living in a house of indulgence in the name of performing religious activities or spending one's time as a paid worker in some grihasta's deity temple. The statement Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhya, the Supreme Soul is not attainable by those without strength, does not refer to physical strength. One can never make the soul strong by material physical strength. But by Atmabal, or will force, it is possible to compel the strong and the weak. It is possible to compel the strong and the weak of the world. All manner of injustice and iniquity. Is this Atmabal or will force? I wonder if there should be a comma before will force. I don't know. That's something in Bengali, and in Hindi they never do that kind of thing, like putting a comma on both sides of this. Let us say Atmabal Bal. And then you wrote that. Okay. Anyways, all manner of injustice and iniquity can be counteracted by a strong personality. For that, a profuse amount of practice and acceptance of renunciation is also necessary. The Mat Mandir, our spiritual gathering place, is the real hub of peace. It is only by the love and affection that even a stone-hearted person's soul is conquered. Studying the many virtues that a bona fide guru or saintly person must possess, as described in Bhagavatam, subdues hatred, violence, envy, etc. Whatever the sevaks obtain is to be implemented in the service of Guru. If someone thinks of any of it as their personal property, they become enjoyers of Guru and Vaishnavas and are born as Krikalasa, a lizard, or a very lean... that explains it. We can only attain auspiciousness if we can adopt proper standards and ideals, no matter what the circumstance. It is rectification rather than criticism of others that generates auspiciousness for us. There's another similar like this. I like this. Do try to grasp the core essence of my letter and tell the sevaks to maintain fortitude. Magnanimity means to cultivate the good qualities of others within oneself. Aap bhalo to jagat bhalo. If you're good, the world is good. I like that quote. Aap bhalo to jagat bhalo. Actually, I like both of these quotes, but I'm going to separate them. I forgot what number this is. 78. 78. Okay. This bullet has to be moved up to the previous line. Let's see. Okay, I'll put a hyphen there. Oh, Paramananda Prabhu is there. Oh, God. My pronunciation. Hi. Okay. Letter 79. Bhakti can only appear if one engages all one's senses in Bhagavan's service. Avoid those devotees of the mat who are prone to enmity and violence. The misconceptions of the Prakrit Sahajyas. The material body does not become transcendental. Attaining a transcendental body and serving Sri Krishna. Srila Vāmana Goswami Maharaj's letters are a lot different today, aren't they? They're just a lot of a different kind of mood in them. Okay. Snehaspadeshu. I received a letter of 21-685 on the date of 26-685. You are imagining that you are deprived of Guru and Vaishnavas. It is by the strength of Guru's mercy that one attains Krishna's mercy. Lust, anger, and so on only take one down on the path to hell. Lust, anger, and so on only take one down to the path of hell. Take one down the path of hell. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time reading. Thakur Shilanartham described the path of deliverance from this. Kama Krishna Kamarpane Krodha Bhakta Dveshi Jane Lova Sadhu Sange Hari Kata Moha Ishta Labha Bine Mada Krishna Guna Gane Niyukta Koribo Jatatata. I will engage lust in an offering of work for Krishna, anger to oppose those malicious to devotees, greed in seeking saintly association and hearing descriptions of Hari, bewilderment in the feeling that I have not attained my worshipful Lord, and the feeling of intoxication in singing Krishna's glories. Bhakti can only appear if one engages the proclivities of all the senses in the service of Bhagavan. Hrishike Govinda Seva na pujibo Devi Deva. Iha Bhakti Paramakaran. I will engage my senses in the service of Govinda, and I will not worship the demigods or goddesses. This is the supreme cause of bhakti. These are the words of the Mahajans. Rishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. There shouldn't be a hyphen there, right? Don't think so. Bhakti is service rendered by one's transcendental senses to the Lord of the senses, Hrishikesh. The path to deliverance for everyone has been determined in the after manner. You should let go of the so-called assistance, empathy, and cooperation of those mat sevaks who are prone to enmity, violence, and envy, and try to be self-sufficient. This footnote thing is bumping into the text. When sevaks become arrogant and egotistical, they are cast far away from the service of Sri Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas. No one can ever bring about any good for the mat and mission by factionalism or grouping. Factionalism or grouping. Be cautious in this regard. I will discuss all these matters in person. You should all come together to perform Hari Bhajan. Be free of hatred and envy, of the hope for profit, worship and prestige, of criticism, gossip, and analysis of others, and of extraneous desires and deceit. And try to live life as a servant of servants, subsisting on the remnants of Guru and Vaishnavas. Always keep yourself free from notions contrary to Siddhanta, the faults of rasabhas, transgressions of etiquette, and other types of conduct befitting non-devotees. Transgressions of etiquette and other types of conduct befitting non-devotees. Shri Gaur Nityananda will surely show you their their true mercy. Try to properly comprehend Gaudiya Tattva Siddhanta by the medium of the Gaudiya Gosvāmīs. Never associate with Prakrit Sahajyas, Smartas, Panchopasakis, Chir Jara Samanvayavadis, and Jiva Brahmaikavadis. Should we give definitions for all these? I think so. I'll do that later. I am answering your questions as follows. One second. Whatever. The purport of Jagadguru Srila Saraswati Prabhupada's Gaudiya Bhashya and Srila Keshav Goswami Prabhu's introduction to Sri Damodarashtakam is one and the same. When bhakti manifests, the jiva's body of 5 elements attains Satchidananda Rupata, the state of having a form composed of cognizance, eternity, and bliss. So this means within the body of 5 elements, one attains Satchidananda Rupata. The body of 5 elements attains Satchidananda Rupata. Within the body of 5 elements. Okay. Okay. One's saying the soul within the body and one's saying the body, right? The physical body composed of 5 material elements does not become transcendental. This you must understand. The same sort of difference between Shri Hari and Haritva, being like Hari, exists between the words Rupa and Rupata. Inert matter never becomes spirit. What is material never becomes spiritual. This is Srila Prabhupada's view. If you study his and Bhaktivedānta Thakur's articles like Prakrit Ras Shatadushani, Sahajya Mater Hetva, and Siddhanta Virud o Rasabhas Dosh, this will be very clear. Siddhanta Virod. This will be very clear. This has also been concluded in the verse Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaver grahyam indriyai sevon muke hijivadho swayang eva spurattadha. Hence, Shri Krishna and so forth cannot be grasped by the senses. They only manifest themselves upon the tongue that is inclined towards service. The view of the Prakrit Sahajyas is that matter becomes spirit, and by the power of sadhan, one can see Bhagavan with material eyes. This statement is beautifully consistent with the statements Srila Saraswati Thakur made explaining the view of Prakrit Sahajyas. If at the time of Diksha the devotee offers his soul, then Krishna makes him akin to himself. The devotee's body then becomes composed of spiritual consciousness and bliss, and he, in his transcendental body, worships Shri Krishna's feet. This too is a statement that is synonymous with the above excerpt from the introduction to Sri Damodarashtakam. In this case, the transcendental state has been described. Only in a body composed of transcendental sentiment is the service and worship of the transcendental Satchidananda Tattva. This is the ontological aspect of sadhan bhajan. By morphology, by material conceptions, it is impossible to experience the tattva that is beyond the senses. It is impossible, just as it is impossible for there to be a gold-stone bowl, a poisonous rabbit, or a flower growing in the sky. A poisonous rabbit. The process of bhuta shuddhi, purification of the physical elements that the pujak or archak priest performs when he worships Shri Vigraha or offers bhog, affects chitta shuddhi, purification of the heart, bhav shuddhi, purification of sentiments. Should he say of the mind? No, sentiments, whatever, etc. And once that happens, that is, once knowledge of one's relationship with Bhagavan arises, or once one realizes the constant pure primordiality of both the Jivatma and Paramatma and attains the state of consciousness, Bhagavan accepts the servant's worship and whatever offering one makes. The notions of Devang Bhutva Devang Yajit, be a god to worship a god, and Na Devo Devam Archayit, you cannot worship a god without being a god, are applicable here. I found the reference to this before, and I'm not sure if that's... Anyways, I'll look this up. Only if the Jivatma or Sadhak and Sadhika have experienced the awakening of Sambandha Gyan, or in other words, only when their transcendental condition is established, do they become worthy candidates for the attainment of Bhakti and Bhagavat Prem. Service to Bhagavan can never be obtained by any sort of mundane, imaginary ascending path. Know you have my affectionate blessings. Iti, your eternal well-wisher, Shri Bhaktivedānta Vāmana. Okay. Oops, did I skip? Okay. Letter 80. Okay, yeah, Prajumna Prabhu, yes. Um, it is imperative to perform Puja. Yeah, okay, you're just making a note. Okay, letter 80. I am fully indebted to each and every sevak and will remain so. Plain living and high thinking come naturally in the course of sadhan. Every soul is a blossomed flower fit to be offered to Sri Bhagavan. Studying the path of sadhan, a recommended book list. The two Kapilas. It's interesting. The first half of the book, maybe even more than the first half of the book, like it was really like most of the letters were only to his lady disciples. I think there was like one or two that were to male disciples, but like yeah. And now all these letters we've been reading are mostly just to males. It's interesting that it's like from these years. Anyways, yeah. Snehas Padeshu. Māhārāja, I received the letter you wrote from Lumding, dated 29/6/85 and 3/7/85. I understand you received my previous two letters when you went to Tinsukia. Oh god, these are too interesting. Where is Lumding and where is Tinsukia? Sorry guys, my curiosity is getting the... What? Okay. Lumding. That's Assam. Okay. Never mind. It's not that interesting. What am I doing? Okay. I'm delighted and enthused to know that the party's brahmachari sevaks are serving with enthusiasm. If they become responsible like this, then I can have some peace of mind in my old age. I am fully indebted to each and every sevak and will remain so. I am especially indebted knowing that you are all helping, empathizing with each other, and cooperating for Sri Guru Padma's service. Your heartfelt empathy is, for me, sufficient. I discussed the matter of the Vaishnav's virtues in the previous letter. We must convey earnest prayers to Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavs so that we may obtain those virtues. If we nicely engage in Shravan and Kirtan of Harikatha, the condition of the mind will transform. Once inertia, laziness, and disinterest in hard work are dispelled, the delight of service is obtained. Plain living and high thinking will come naturally in the course of sadhan. Bhakti pareshanubhavo viraktir anyatra. Don't think there's a hyphen there. The more one obtains realization of Bhagavan, the more natural detachment from the sordid objects of the senses arises. Detachment from the sordid objects of the senses. Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayatyashubhairagyam Jnanang Cha Yad Ahaitukam. I like the BBT system of just having an anusvar always in this case. By performing bhakti to Lord Vasudev, one swiftly develops causeless renunciation and knowledge. Jnana Vairagyadi Kabu Nahe Bhakti Ranga. Knowledge and renunciation are never limbs of bhakti. This is a special purport in this case. Every jivatma is a blossomed flower, fit to be offered at Sri Bhagavan's worshipful lotus feet. These are the words of Sadhu, Guru, and Shastra. Hence, we have some sort of faith and belief in everyone. As time permits, I will put into writing some scriptural messages or instructions and teachings. Surely some of my lectures are preserved in the Sri Patrika and some tapes. You can also select from there. The personal sevaks who have been with me, as well as the ones who currently are, never felt any need to take notes of my classes or make tape recordings. I do not foster the audacity of telling others to make notes of what I say. You can collect of what you want from my yearly diaries from 1941. Where there is a will, there is a way. If you believe in this proverb, you will be successful in this regard. It is only through the service and association of Vaishnavas, more exalted than oneself, that one attains utmost benefit on the path of sadhana. In this regard, the verse Hiyate hi matis tata hina saha samagamat samaischa samatameti vishishtais to vishishtatam. Sorry. O son, by associating with those inferior to oneself, one's intelligence is degraded. By associating with those equal to oneself, one's intelligence remains the same. And by associating with those greater than oneself, one attains knowledge. So the verse from the Niti Shastra is memorable. If one is to advance on the path of bhajan, one must study sadhan path, the path of sadhan, or in other words, Shri Shikshashtak, Shri Krishna Namashtak, Shri Upadeshamrita, Shri Manashiksha, Shri Harinam Chintamani, Suniyam Dvadashakam, 1 second, Shriman Mahaprabhu Shiksha, Dashamula, put a hyphen in there, Dashamula Niryas, Shri Jaiva Dharma, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Śrīmad Bhagavad Gita with the commentaries of Shri Baladev and Chakravarti, Śrīmad Bhagavatam with Chakravarti's Tika and Sridhar Swami's Tika, Shat Sandarbha, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and other various sacred texts of exposition. We see, in the words of Sadhu, Guru, and Shastra, the instruction to take saintly association via the scriptures in the absence of direct Sangha. At the time of sadhana, it is surely our duty to shun anything that is unfavorable for bhakti and accept an environment that is favorable for service. Examining one's own flaws and mistakes is more beneficial to the soul than seeking out the flaws and mistakes of others. Same kind of quote like before. By this, the hankering for profit, worship, and prestige is dispelled, and peace of mind is gained. I'm going to add this. We can put them. I'll put these quotes together. Forgot what letter this is, though. Maybe it's 80? I don't know. What letter was that? Yeah, it was 80. Okay. It was the theistic Kapila Dev, son of Kardama Rishi and Devahuti. It was the theistic Kapila Dev, son of Kardama Rishi and Devahuti, who first graced the site of Ganga Sagar. After him, the atheistic Kapila, a son of Agni, went there. This atheistic Kapila was the one who reduced the 60,000 sons of King Sagar to ashes with a curse. Here we have Sagar with a long A. I think it is with a long A, but anyways, I'm just going to double check. The history of the theistic Kapila is discussed in Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Have a good look at that. My body is carrying on somehow or other. I was very concerned to receive news of your poor health. Make regular use of medicine and treatment. This year you have not had any rest. The body also needs rest from time to time. Even if aram, rest, is haram, forbidden. It is true there is no rest in service. Yet, if we do not give the body some rest, often it will go on strike. Know you all have my affectionate blessings. Iti, your eternal well-wisher, Shri Bhaktivedānta Vāmana. It's the second time I remember Srila Vāmana Goswami saying this. So we have to be careful to not make our body ever go on strike. I like that way of thinking. Okay. Letter 81. Having reservations about the state of society and wanting to lead a solitary life. The opinion of Kunti Devi. We must try to make the environment favorable for service. Leaving civilization to live in the forest or jungle is not a solution. Studying Shri Harinam Chintamani, Shri Manashiksha, and Shri Upadeshamrita every day gives strength of mind. You can share that in Manjari's Manashiksha group, Manjari and Vasanti's Manashiksha group. Sadara Sambhashana Purvikayam. Ma, I have very little time. At the moment, with all the book publication work I have to do, I cannot find any time. If I stay in the mat, people get irritated, so I'm staying separately in a remote house overseeing the work of printing the granthas. No one else comes here. To tell you the truth, seeing the current situation, I do not want to go anywhere anymore. Men's hearts are extremely polluted. No one is accustomed to seeing the good in others. Hatred, violence, envy, blasphemy, gossip, and hopes for profit, worship, and prestige have turned people's lives upside down. There is at present a dearth of love, affection, and courtesy among mankind. Extreme arrogance and bravado have become solidly established in every field. If a person has no patience, tolerance, and simplicity, then what kind of sadhan bhajan can he be doing? Seeing all of this, I have personally become quite reserved. I am just trying to carry on with what little goodness there is in me. After great ordeal, I have, by the blessings of Guru and Vaishnavas, become a human being, so I do not wish to waste time with incompatible Vijatiya people. My sole aspiration is to lead a solitary life, and I am accustomed to leading a solitary existence even in the midst of many people. Wow. I understand you are I don't know. Anyways, I'm just going to save it. Maybe I'll share, or maybe I won't. I like these quotes where Srila Bhaktivedānta Goswāmī. I shared a similar quote like this above already. I understand that you are sad because you have not had the opportunity to hear Harikatha for a year and a half. When amid the greatest disturbance in the world you are not overwhelmed, then I trust that Shri Guru Gauranga Radhavina Bihariju have shown you special mercy. If you can always carry on maintaining your composure in any circumstance, you will have auspiciousness. Therein is the satisfaction of the soul. Therein is peace of mind. The situation these days cannot quite be called misfortune. Sadhu and Shastra have explained that the sorrow or suffering that rouses remembrance of the Lord and his devotees constitutes, in the opinion of Kunti Devi, good days and good fortune. Oh, I need to send this to a friend who's going through a really difficult time right now. One second. 81. Okay. Living entities embroiled in material existence have no alternative other than material existence. Where else will you go besides this infinite material universe? Wherever you go, this sense of yours and mine will keep trailing along behind us. This material existence is an ocean. It is a mistake to think that the water will dry up and then you'll be able to cross that ocean. You have to live in the midst of it and consider the well-being of your soul. We ourselves must try to make the environment favorable for service. Why only a little concern for you and yours? You have profuse concerns and responsibility, and always will. Your sister has learned to tread carefully and deliberately, so there is no need to worry so much for her. Perhaps indirectly she has given me some relief from the clutches of worry. But with stubborn you, I have fallen into a predicament. Sangstar nirvaha kori jabo ami vrindavan. Rinna trai shodibare kori techi sujatan. E ashar nahi prayojan sujatan. E ashar nahi prayojan. Where is that from? That's from the song Jivana Samapti Kale by Bhaktivedānta. Okay. Once I carry out my duties in this material existence, I will go to Vrindavan. Though I am trying so hard to repay the 3 debts to the sages, gods, and ancestors, there is no use to this hope. grihe tako vane tako ite tarka akaran. Whether you live at home or in the forest, all such debate on the matter is pointless. This is our go-to policy at present times. If you leave civilization to go to the forest or jungle, there too you will surely have violent blood-drinking beasts and animals like snakes, scorpions, mosquitoes, worms, and insects. Hence, the best policy is to consider all matters and maintain composure in your heart. That way it is possible to gain peace. If daily you carefully study and cultivate the teachings given in Sri Harinam Chintamani, Sri Manashiksha, and Sri Upadeshamrita, you will find strength of mind, and then the world's good and bad cannot agitate you. It is true that good fortune is needed to gain the darshan of sadhu, guru, and vaishnav. But even though darshan of your guru and vaishnavas is rare, know that it is also very much accessible. All is well if you are well. What more? Iti, your eternal well-wisher, Shri Bhaktivedānta Vāmana. Oh, I think I'm going to just share this whole letter. Yeah, I will. With my friend, I mean. Okay, letter 82. Nrihari Prabhu, the word iti, the way that we were translating it before we didn't have the word iti. We just wrote in English, I conclude here, or thus I conclude. But actually, we wrote a whole thing in the book about this word iti. Often you see from our acharyas, in their letters, they always end it with iti, and it's just like a sign-off thing. Thus. That's what it literally means, is thus. Gratitude between Bhagavan and his devotees. Service and chanting are synonymous and simultaneous. The importance of patiently and enthusiastically engaging others in service. The special virtues required of a temple manager. Only those who are deprived of the service of Guru and Vaishnavas are petty gossipers. Ooh, that's a good one. I like that topic. It's good for me to hear that. Okay. Snehaspadeshu. Māhārāja, upon receiving your 12-page letter, I became 27,785. I became acquainted with all the matters at hand. You cannot write a letter at a low cost. There is enough proof of that. You cannot write a letter at a low cost. There's enough proof of that. It would not be a bad down on the cost of paper a little. What you conveyed in 12 pages, I can write in 2. If I am your Sri Gurudev, and you are my disciple or follower, then why should I or you endure mental disturbance? Do we need a bona fide guru in brackets there? I don't know. If I can think of you as a servant of, or Vaibhav, opulence expansion of my Guru and Vaishnavas, then there is no reason for anyone to feel any sense of obligation or to make claims or demands. This is very appropriate if considered from the perspective of Vaishnavata, what it means to be a Vaishnav as well. When a human being can gain physical, mental, and financial support, sympathy, and cooperation from anyone via a material conception of relationship, then surely such a convenience and opportunity can be found directly and indirectly in the spiritual realm too. Even that grateful, capable, magnanimous Bhaktavatsal Shri Bhagavan, to whom all sadhaks and siddhas are forever indebted in their pursuit of that extremely rare prem bhakti, is forever indebted to his exclusively devout sevak and sevikas, and expresses his gratitude. Even that grateful, capable, magnanimous Bhaktavatsal Shri Bhagavan, to whom all sadhaks and siddhas are forever indebted in their pursuit of that extremely rare prem bhakti. Even that Bhagavan is indebted to his exclusively devout sevak. Would end dashes be good here too? Maybe not a need. It's just difficult to read this sentence. I don't know. You wrote, if I am continuously roaming around preaching outside, bhajan is somewhat hindered. This cannot be considered correct. If preaching and bhajan are synonymous, There is no question of hindrance. Service and chanting of Śrīnam are synonymous and to be performed simultaneously. Without service, there's no Śrīnam, and without Śrīnam, there's no service. The performance of the 5 limbs of bhakti, engaging in sadhu sangha, performing nam kirtan, hearing Bhagavatam, living in the dham, and serving the deity, have been determined as duty. The prescription for chanting Śrīnam that is included to, The prescription for chanting Śrīnam that is inclined to service, and also service that is devoted to Śrīnam, has been established by the Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Vaishnavacharyas. Chanting Śrīnam and rendering seva develop differences and specialities in accordance with one's individual competence in the practice of Vidhi and Raganuga. Someone of a lower qualification cannot realize or appreciate the transcendental bhav seva of the Uttam Adhikari. By chanting Krishna mantra, the condition of material existence is eradicated, and by chanting Shri Krishna's pure name, direct service is attained. This is in accordance with scriptural conclusions and the supreme truth approved by the Mahājans. This is an interesting quote. I'm going to save this. 82. Right? Okay. Okay. This, let me just read. By chanting Krishna mantra, the condition of material existence is eradicated. By chanting Krishna's pure name, direct service is attained. This is in accordance with scriptural conclusions and the supreme truth of truth approved by the Mahājans. I trust that by Bhagavan's desire, the collection will not be bad. By a firm conviction and concerted efforts, it will turn out more or less all right. The responsibility and service conviction. One second. I think that needs to be better. This responsibility and service conviction of the elderly Vaishnav Vajranabh Prabhu is an especially remarkable phenomenon. His fervor for service, even at such an advanced age, stuns and captivates us all. You have your own enthusiasm and patience, but still, I am advising you to adopt more patience and enthusiasm. We must keep people of all kinds of eligibility and qualification engaged in the service of Sri Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas. We must intelligently engage whatever little qualification a person has. Srila Guru Padma used to say, attempting to use one's intelligence to engage the capabilities of others in service has more speciality and is more praiseworthy than accomplishing the tasks of service by enduring painful toil oneself. Expertly engaging other sevaks in service does more to prove excellence in service. You have to consider all of this and lead the preaching party. You have to consider all of this to lead the preaching party. I like this. This is great. I'm going to save this quote. I'll have this first sentence also. Yeah. The conduct and indiscretion of weak-hearted and angry individuals often becomes the cause of harm for the mat and mission instead of its upliftment. All of these causes need special cautious attention. All manner of flaws and mistakes of a sevak can be accepted, but it is only moral character that establishes his dignity. Sadhur alpa chidra sarva loke gai. The smallest flaws of a saint are broadcast by everyone. We will mingle with householders and sense enjoyers as much as is necessary for the interests and development of the mat, but we will not become their bought slaves. A mat rakshak, a temple protector or temple president, should have some special virtues. He must be accommodating and obliging. A restless-hearted, crude, vitriolic, harsh-spoken person who lacks composure can never get along with even 5 people. A bad workman quarrels with his fellow men. This is the worst situation. Know that for the service of the mat and mission, at the behest of Guru and Vaishnavas. This leaves no room for others to make futile criticisms. Do not disturb your mind because of that. Only those who are deprived of the service of Guru and Vaishnavas are petty gossipers. They can never find auspiciousness. Both conditioned and liberated souls have the desire for prestige and always will. This footnote should go after the period. If someone if someone says that he does not have any sort of desire for prestige, then he is na devaya na dharmaya, neither for God nor for religion. We are neither bhogatyagis, renouncers of enjoyment, nor tyagatyagis, renouncers of religion. We are the vigashasi, the servants of Shri Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas. This is our special identity. Know you have my affectionate blessings. Convey my dandavat pranams to blank Prabhu. There's no space after that. Okay. I will tell and hear everything in person. Iti, your eternal well-wisher, Shri Bhaktivedānta Vāmana. Okay, quoting Prabhupada Srila Saraswati Thakur's Dushtaman Tumi. Srila Bhakti Rakshakshidhar Māhārāja says, I want Vaishnavi Pratishta. I won't want any popularity from the ordinary public. They are almost insane. But I want a position in the eye of my master, my Gurudev. That's from the Golden Staircase, chapter 4. I like that. I'm going to save that quote. Okay. And this was Paramananda Prabhu. I'm not sure if he's still watching, but yeah, he was the one who found the definition for this word, because I couldn't find it in any dictionary. Okay, letter 83. I think we're ending with this letter, right? Yeah, we're ending with this letter. Okay. The mercy of Guru and the glories of Dashamula Shiksha. The rarity of a genuine disciple. Mantra is directly Guru, and Guru is Hari himself. Shri Krishna is Sarva Shaktiman, the possessor of all potencies. And Shri Guru is Purna Shakti, full potency. Shri Guru alone is our protector, maintainer, and nurturer. Qualities of a true sadhika. Snehaspada Ma. I received your 2 letters. I received your last letter on the date of 17/6/85. I hope you are well physically and that your bhajan is also well. If you abandon anger and pride and become keen on contemplating the soul's benefit, you will find peace of mind. Shri Guru Pad Padma can make Shri Guru Pad Padma can make one acquainted with Shri Gaura Radha Vinod Bihari and inform one about them. By his causeless mercy, the jiva gains knowledge of its true form and nature. That is to say, sambandha jnana. The ignorant infant does not recognize or know anyone but his mother. Likewise, the sevak or sevika who has taken refuge at the feet of Guru is wholly dependent on his mercy. If one drinks of the teachings and nectar of Dashamula Shiksha, the earthly mundane lusts and desires of this world are dispelled and the qualification for prem priti is obtained. Only especially fortunate individuals become exceedingly blessed by obtaining this sort of opportunity and advantage. Your fortune is extremely favorable, which is why you have obtained the wonderful opportunity to drink the nectar of Dashamul. Day to day, move forward in sadhan bhajan. Know this to be my special blessing. There are very few people to hear Harikatha. Even if you find 2 or 4 listeners, many people cannot understand the topics of bhakti. Only greatly fortunate persons take shelter of the path of bhakti and become blessed. Teachers who perform kirtan of Bhagavan are extremely rare. Even if one finds a bona fide guru by the grace of Bhagavan, a genuine disciple who is free from deceit and is following his guidance is even more rare. Guru is not a jiva. Guru is Shri Bhagavan's Prakash Vigraha, manifestation. He is the Lord's dear one. Should there be something before the word jiva? Is not a bound jiva or something in square brackets? I don't know, maybe not. It is in the form of Guru that Shri Hari grants It is in the form of Guru that Shri Hari grants shelter to the jiva, shows him mercy, and delivers him. Only fortunate, good-hearted persons who have obtained the mercy of Bhagavan become blessed and fulfilled by attaining a bona fide Guru. Shri Gurudev is Bhagavan himself. If one thinks of Shri Gurudev, who is directly Bhagavan, to be an ordinary human, then hearing Hari, remembering, chanting mantras, studying scripture, and performing Nam Kirtan is all in vain. Mantra, Guru, and Hari are all one substance. Mantra is directly Guru, and Guru is Hari himself. Hence, automatically pleased with whomever Guru is pleased with. This is important. Although Shri Guru is Bhagavan, he is Bhagavan's dear one. Shri Krishna is Bhokta Bhagavan, the enjoyer God, and Shri Gurudev is Sevak Bhagavan, the servant God. Shri Krishna is Vishaya Vigraha, the object of love. Shri Gurudev is Ashraya Vigraha, the abode of love. Shri Krishna is Sarva Shaktiman, the possessor of all potencies, and Shri Guru is Purna Shakti, full potency. Shri Guru is Bhagprishta, the dearest of Bhagavan, and Vaishnav Shrestha, the greatest of Vaishnavs. Every disciple should see Shri Gurudev as Bhagavan and his most dear one. Doing so is the source of auspiciousness. One who serves him with love by body, mind, and words is a real sevak, a real Vaishnav, and truly cognizant of Shastra. Shri Gurudev grants teachings regarding Bhagavan. He is eternal. He is eternal. His servant is also eternal, and his service is also eternal. Shri Guru Padma is the refuge of all our hopes and beliefs. If we take shelter of him, we become capable of being fearless, worryless, and supremely happy. If we pray with heart and soul to him for blessings, he, out of compassion, bestows honor of auspiciousness. Shri Gurudev is the directly witnessed form of Ishvar. Shri Bhagavan in the form of Guru, be he a grihastha or sannyasi, is the exclusive refuge of all. Sadguru is the abode of all the holy places. Therefore, if one circumambulates him, one receives the fruit of going on pilgrimage to all the holy places. Wow, this is so beautiful. Guru's mercy is the root or foundation of performing bhajan of Bhagavan. The embodiment of Bhagavan's mercy, Shri Gurudev, is a disciple's life and is more beloved than his very life. In this material existence, Shri Guru is everything to the sadhak and sadhika. He is the jiva's selfless friend. He is the only courage, strength, and hope of those who thirst for bhajan. Alone is protector, maintainer, and teacher. A devotee who has surrendered his soul to Gurudev, Gurudeva Tatma, is courageous, fearless, free from worry, happy, and peaceful. I will write more about Guru Tattva to you later. Your desire to render some service, despite knowing that everything of yours is Gurudev's and Bhagavan's, is not bad. We employ in service to Bhagavan the items bequeathed to us by him, and, as his remnant eating sevaks and sevikas, we pray for his causeless mercy. Know that we have no prowess of our own. May Shri Gurudev and Shri Bhagavan alone be victorious. Then only will there be being for all universes. The conditioned soul can, by the mercy of Shri Guru and Bhagavan, conquer all anarthas. There is no other adequate means to conquer extraneous desires, anyavilasha, and so on. all our lust desires have been put to good use only if they are engaged in the service of Bhagavan. I'm just saving on Guru Tattva. That's such an awesome thing. This is 83. Okay. A sadhak who is keen on sadhan bhajan is completely different from ordinary humans of the world. Her life is her life is sacrificed to the service of Bhagavan. She exclusively worships only Shri Gaura's name, Gaura's desires, and Gaura's abode. Without Shri Radha Govinda, she perceives the world as void. Exclusively devoted bhaktas do not want to live where the glories of Bhagavan are not sung, or Vaishnavas who have taken shelter of Bhagavat do not come and go, and where Shri Hari's grand festivals are not celebrated. In other words, they pray for an environment that is favorable for bhajan and gain satisfaction in doing so. You are absorbed in performing sadhana bhajan without any other concerns. I am delighted to be able to know this. Make special efforts to give up sense objects that are unfavorable for bhakti and accept a situation that is favorable for bhajan. Worldly calamities can never create obstacles for a tolerant person. If one can be inspired with eternally fresh inclinations to serve, there is no chance of any inauspiciousness. Proceed on the path of sadhana with profuse patience, enthusiasm, and tolerance. This is what I especially wanted to say. Accept my blessings. I hope you are all well. What more? Iti, your eternal well-wisher, Shri Bhaktivedānta Vāmana. Wow, that was beautiful. All right, thank you for reading with me. Jai Shri Radhe, Hari Bol.